Happy Monday. Welcome into the 49ers Report. Hope all of you out there had a fantastic weekend. We have a fantastic sponsor that's making today's show possible, Manscaped. Brock Purdy has been balling out this year. If you want to clean up your balls, do so with Manscaped, and in the process, 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com/49ers. Promo code 49ers to save today. So coming up on today's show, plenty of Niners news and headlines to talk about heading into Week 4, which all of a sudden in this game at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara against the Arizona Cardinals becomes a massive game in the NFC West. Why? Because Arizona pulled off the upset of the weekend, beating the Dallas Cowboys at home by 12 points. They were touchdown underdogs in this ball game. Now, up until Week 3, they had been feisty in all the games so far. Week 1 against Washington, they nearly were able to get a win. And then in Week 2, they kind of crumbled down the stretch, but were very competitive. And then in Week 3, Arizona played really good football on both sides of the pill. 28-16, the final score. Dak Prescott throwing a costly interception late. And Joshua Dobbs, who the Cardinals traded for right before the season, is taking the place of Kyler Murray, who's still out because of a torn ACL. He's managing the game really well right now, and James Conner had a very good game yesterday, running for 98 yards. And what this game came down to, the Cardinals out-executing against the Cowboys, out big playing Dallas, but when the Cowboys trying to make a little bit of a comeback late in this game, the man who led the NFL in interceptions last year, despite missing a few games because of a thumb injury, threw a pick on this play as the Cowboys were knocking on the doorstep, looking to cut into that Cardinals deficit. As you can see here, an awful throw by Dak Prescott. Nobody's open here, and you have 3 defenders in the area. He throws into triple coverage. Kaiser White picks him off. Then he was seen on camera calling Dak Prescott a bum, and the Cowboys sent home with a pretty awful loss on the road against a team that a lot of people thought was going to be one of the worst in the National Football League. And all those Cowboy fans all throughout this season so far, how about them Cowboys? We're the #1 team in the National Football League. San Francisco has something to say about that because the eye test tells you a story that the Niners, the most well-rounded team, in my opinion, in the NFL right now. You might be wanting to talk about the Miami Dolphins, 70 points against the listless Denver Broncos, but defensively, the Niners have the edge there. Either way, crazy stuff happens across the NFL week in and week out, and yesterday's game was a big example of that. And now, you look ahead to this Week 4 game, which all of a sudden means a lot for San Francisco, but means a lot for Arizona as they've been playing really good ball under first-year head coach Jonathan Gannon, who used to be the Eagles' defensive coordinator. And what I find interesting here is that despite the Cardinals' dub at home over the Cowboys, in a game where Cowboys fans were the majority in that ball game on the road at Arizona, San Francisco 14-point favorites here, the over-under at 44, so still the odds makers believe that San Francisco, the far more dominant team. As for how Arizona won, it's Monday. Let's get you caught up for Sunday here and get you prepped for another Niner ball game. Arizona against Dallas, running 30 times for 222 yards, 7.5 yards per carry, and 2 touchdowns. James Conner was great. The Cardinals were really physical. Arizona now 3-0 against the spread. They could be 3-0 with their overall record, and the early returns here on Jonathan Gannon, pretty damn good. I know a lot of you are also thinking this, though. Is this a trap game for San Francisco? Because they have the mini bye week after dominating the New York Giants and outlasting New York, and then you have Arizona beating Dallas, and then on the other end of this Cardinals matchup for San Francisco is the Dallas Cowboys Sunday Night Football, Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, in a game that could be the most watched regular season game this year. I don't think it can be a trap game for San Francisco because now, after Arizona did beat Dallas, you have to take this football team seriously, especially with how tough and feisty they've been this season so far. What's also notable here, when you think about Niners going up against the Dallas Cowboys in totality, right, but also with what Arizona has liked to do on the football field so far this year, it's their ability to run the ball. So for the Niners here, their rushing defense going to be critical against Arizona on Sunday. In particularly, the Cardinals like to run outside of the tackles. You see all of the green, and you see all of the green and the big plays. And for the yardage that some of these runs are going for, Arizona has had a lot of success, both against Dallas so far this season with some of those outside zone runs. San Francisco's been very good against the run this year, but they will be tested on the perimeter there because Arizona is not a team that is built to come from behind with Josh Dobbs playing quarterback. He's just not all that great of a thrower when he has to throw a lot. But if Arizona can dictate the pace of the game and they can run it against San Francisco like they did against Dallas, that is how the Niners could be on upset alert. And throughout this week here on the 49ers Report, we're going to continue to preview that game and pass along all of the latest Niners news and analysis. First, though, if you think the Niners beat the Cardinals, that's what I think. I think they're still going to beat the Cardinals. I think the San Francisco team is very special. I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If you don't think the Niners are going to beat Arizona, I want you to comment why, because that's a bold take. Next up on the show, is Brock Purdy a top 5 to 10 quarterback in the National Football League? Former NFL wide receiver and NFL on CBS analyst Nate Burleson pondered where Purdy ranks and said he might be a top 5 to 10 quarterback right now. Now, you might have a point, and I'll reveal my thoughts on that coming up here in a second, but first, let's do our due diligence, and let's show you the numbers. Brock Purdy right now, 3-0, going into Monday Night Football. Niners, Dolphins, the only two 3-0 teams in the NFL, and the Buccaneers and Eagles will try to join them. Completion percentage, 67%. He's thrown 4 touchdowns, no picks. Yards per attempt, extremely impressive number there at 9. And then his yards per game at 245. Brock Purdy in this offense, because Kyle Shanahan likes to run the ball, and because you have Christian McCaffrey, he's never going to be a guy who's going to throw for a bunch of touchdowns in a Patrick Mahomes MVP season type of manner, or is he going to throw for a lot of yards? But some of the specific numbers are pretty telling with where Purdy lies among all quarterbacks in the NFL, because he is elite, at least the numbers back it up, in a couple of categories here. Completion percentage, very solid, 13th in the NFL. Yards per attempt, 9, number 2 behind only Tua Tagovailoa, who might be leading the NFL MVP charge. Quarterback rating for Purdy, 4th. QBR, he's 2nd. Expected points added, 8th. And points added for quarterbacks that's combining QBR and some other analytical numbers, he comes in at 5th. Now, as for what Nate Burleson had to say about Brock Purdy and him being a top 5, top 10 guy potentially, let's relay that. You have Brock Purdy, who has survived quarterbacks in San Francisco, meaning outlasted them. Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance, this young man has it. I don't care what anybody says. Remember when Jimmy Garoppolo was winning and he said, and we all said, oh, he's a winner. Show him some respect. You know what? Show Brock Purdy some damn respect. This man has not lost a game as a starter. And the only one that he lost was when he tore his UCL in the NFC Championship game. I know he's not doing it alone, but this guy is legit. I'm talking about a top 10, maybe top 5 quarterback right now. So let's now segue to my guide for a perfect quarterback in the National Football League. And let's take a look at which boxes Brock Purdy can check off here. I need you to be a good team leader. Brock Purdy is a team captain. You can't get rattled if you're playing the most pressure-packed position in all of sports. Purdy doesn't seem to get rattled. In fact, he has an extraordinary amount of confidence. You have to be mentally tough. And I always want to look for the 3 C's, cool, calm, and collected. Brock Purdy is that as well. So far, he's been accurate. He's completing 67% of his passes, and last year, he was right at that same number, 13th in the NFL. You need to be able to process fast. One of the biggest things that stands out about Brock Purdy, his fast processing ability. He can make decisions very quickly in this offense. To that second level, need to be able to throw a touch. Purdy does that to a very accurate way and level. Have to have pocket feel and mobility. How about the throw he made to Christian McCaffrey in which it was batted away by the defender? He felt the pocket collapse around him, stepped up, threw a strike to McCaffrey, and unfortunately didn't go for a touchdown, but my goodness, what a great throw. Level of escapability is nice. The improvisational plays that Purdy can make, that's just an extra thing as an added bonus. Arm strength is a bonus to me, and then you have to be able to take accountability when you miss some throws. What did Brock Purdy do after he missed those 3 deep balls 2 weeks ago? Took accountability for it, came back the next week and hit Deebo Samuel with that 27-yard strike. My take on Brock Purdy right now, I think that Brock Purdy is playing right now, and even going back to last year, as a top 10-ish to 15 quarterback at this given moment. Look, when you're processing fast, when you're layering balls into that second window, when you haven't lost as a starter in the regular season, and the only game that you lost is when your elbow got bent in a different direction, and your team is averaging 30 points per game when you're the starter, you have to be considered as a top 10-ish to 15 guy. There are a couple of other things you want to see for him to be in that top 10, but maybe we'll reveal that later on this week. If you want me to do a quarterback rankings list live on the Niners Report Tuesday afternoon, type Chase down in the comment section. That'll grab my attention when I go back and look at the comments, and we'll cook that up for you. As I mentioned off the top of the program here today, the 49ers Report is presented by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping on the best men's grooming products. Join the 8 million men who have put their trust into Manscaped today, and we want to tell you about the Performance Package 4.0. It is absolutely sensational, as now it's no longer the summertime. We are officially in fresh ball fall, and your balls will be feeling fresh with the Performance Package 4.0. It includes the Lawnmower 4.0, the nose hair trimmer, which is always really important, crop preserver, ball deodorant, the Manscaped boxer brief, some of the most comfortable boxer briefs that I have ever worn, and all of these products come with a travel case as well. I'm telling you, if you want to be well-groomed down below the belt, but also use that Lawnmower 4.0, the razor, on your face, your chest, your back, you can do that as well, because this here is very multifaceted and versatile, like the game of Deebo Samuel. Manscaped also has some beard products too for all the bearded homies out there, because I know a lot of you grow a better beard than me. So it's time to join the millions of men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Get the kit that covers it all. It's the Performance Package 4.0. We're going to put that link in the comment section as well as in the description of this video. It is manscaped.com/49ers, promo code 49ers for that deal to apply. So we discussed what Nate Burleson said about Brock Purdy, right? Let's also break down some quotes from Julian Edelman. He said this with Colin Cowherd on The Herd. He said the Niners struck oil with the late-round pick, Mr. Irrelevant. When you watch Brock Purdy play, Edelman continued, he processes the game. You never see him double pump on something, double clutch. He knows where he's going with the ball, and that's a testament to Kyle Shanahan, knowing what he likes as a play caller, what makes Brock Purdy comfortable, and also Brock going out there and executing. Like, I went out and I watched these guys in the preseason, and I was a little bit concerned with his arm strength because he just had the UCL. He was barely getting it out there, and what does Kyle Shanahan do? He gives him plays and throws that he can make. And right now, because of the talent that they have, he doesn't have to play outside of his game. He just has to deliver the football. Now, I kind of disagree with Edelman about the arm strength thing. I'm not sure when he was on hand at practice for the Niners during training camp, because the arm strength has kind of been there since he came back, and it's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, the first day of practice, he was launching balls downfield 45, 50 yards. But was Edelman there when Purdy was throwing a lot of interceptions throughout training camp, trying to get the ball outside of the numbers? He's been able to do a little bit of that. As we've talked about plenty here on the show, his accuracy at the intermediate level of the field, 10 to 19 yards, has truly been elite. He missed those deep balls in week 2 against the Rams, but then comes back against the Giants, and that throw to Deebo Samuel, as good as it gets. I don't know what JT O'Sullivan, quarterback school, was talking about when he said it was underthrown. Perfect placement on a zero blitz. The touchdown throw to Ronnie Bell, that was terrific. So you're seeing the arm strength backpedaling on some of those throws. You're seeing the diagnosing skills. He knows that the blitz is coming home. The quick processing, which allows him to pull the trigger on the football and allow these weapons on the Niners offense to pick up yards after the catch. Some more notes that I want to get to because the processing thing is real. What to be aware of, good note here. Thanks, Producer Chip, for staying on that. Right now, and even going back to last year, I just want to throw this out there. The ball has bounced the Niners' way. Brock Purdy, I think, in 2022 had like 7 interceptable passes. There's been a couple of balls this year in which he's thrown behind his guy. It's been tipped up. The Ronnie Bell catch off the deflection. There have been some misses that at some point it's not going to go the Niners' way. Hopefully they can get those out of the way, flush it. Hopefully they never happen. Hopefully they don't happen in a big spot. But at some point, the mean does kind of average out to a certain degree. Some more notes here. Good couple of days for general manager John Lynch. San Francisco 3-0, looking like the best all-around team in football. John Lynch was just given a contract extension on Friday, and today is John Lynch's birthday. Nice few days for him, not a bad stretch. I also said this, sitting from my couch on Sunday, had an opportunity to really survey the entire league, not having to do any watch parties. If the Chicago Bears are smart, which they're not, awful organization, worst team in football right now, they'll clean house, they'll fire general manager Ryan Poles, they'll fire head coach Matt Eberflus, and they'll hire 49ers assistant general manager Adam Peters. Let him hire his own coach, draft his own quarterback, and start the rebuild. Now, a lot of people on Twitter were joking around with me, Stats Guerrera, Coach Yak, and they're saying, Chase, pipe down, chill out. We can't lose Adam Peters. Don't put this out into the public sphere. I only said that because on Friday we talked about it here on the show. John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan given multi-year contract extensions to remain with this organization for the foreseeable future. Does that mean that John Lynch is going to continue to stay on as general manager, or will he get elevated to director of pro football ops? Adam Peters then goes from assistant GM to GM, and then you're able to hold on to the guy who has an extraordinary eye for talent and has really benefited the Niners draft process by identifying some of these guys. Now, of note here is that Adam Peters has turned down general manager offerings from other teams across the NFL. He's had several interviews with other organizations to be their GM. He's come back to the Niners for a reason. Is there an under-the-table type of handshake deal where at some point he's going to be the guy? Because I thought last year had a great opportunity to follow in the footsteps of a lot of former general managers, but also Mike McDaniel and DeMeco Ryans in recent years of being guys who the Niners have groomed to step up to positions of power across the NFL, and he took his name out of some general manager searches. Very, very interesting stuff, something to keep an eye out for. But if the Bears do end up doing that, and I said it here on September 24th, it only makes me look smart, and I can make some more money off Elon Musk on Twitter. Matt Barrows also with some Niners injury news here. Brandon Aiyuk on hand for the Niners practice today. As for players that Matt Barrows did not see on the field, Deebo Samuel because of the rib injury, Dre Greenlaw because of his ankle injury, Ambry Thomas because of his knee injury, and then Demetrius Flanagan fouls on the side field because of his ankle. Jawan Jennings on the side field as well. Not sure exactly what his injury is, but when we figure it out, we'll let you know. We'll relay that information right here on the 49ers Report. Real One roll call. If you're still watching the show, a little bit of a long one today, but I just wanted to go in and talk some Niner football. Give me a real one down below in the chat. We'll be going live Tuesday afternoon right here on the show, so make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications. Therefore, when we do go live, you'll be notified. And as always, San Francisco, we out.